both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to everything except for my lights in the background that were not on. And we're going to handle that right now. And now we're on Oh No America. Here we go. Bum. Welcome to the shit show. Okay, guys, first of all, I'd like to remind everybody that this is the start of the third business week of the Trump administration. Holy shizen poopers. All right, let's start off with the things you saw in the thumbnail. Okay? Let's just start there. Oh, America. All right, so we're on Truth Social. I want y'all to be able to see what our commander-in-chief is commanding from his flagship social media platform. Okay. So this, of course, is from February 2nd, which was yesterday. Okay. At 5:26 a.m. That's Pacific time for me. So it was 8:30 in the morning for him. All right. It says, we pay hundreds of billions of dollars to subsidize Canada. Why? There is no reason. We don't need anything they have except for paper and auto manufacturing plants and nickel for our batteries and maple syrup, just to name a few off the top of my head. We have unlimited energy. That's not real. We should make our own cars. We do, but like, I don't think you understand how the automotive industry works. We have a lot of plants of American-made cars in both Canada and Mexico. And now, because of your tariffs, those MERICA cars, Ford, GMC, right? Those American Chrysler, right? The big three American-made cars are going to cost more money than the Toyotas and Hondas and Hyundais, which, by the way, are made in America by Americans. I don't think people understand how the automotive industry works. Subaru has a plant here. I mean, like, name a car company that doesn't have a plant here. Also, Teslas import most of their shit from overseas to put on there. So, yeah, like their windshields that are special made in China. They're very, very expensive windshields. Oh, Dodge. Yeah, I think Dodge is part of Chrysler. So, yeah, but that's also made partially in Mexico and Canada. So, yeah. There's no one singular car company, y'all, except for maybe, well, no, even Fiat got bought out by Ford. I'm trying to think. Peugeot. Peugeot's a car company that's made exclusively in France. Peugeot. Jaguar, they moved their production back to, India. They were bought out by an Indian company. I'm trying to think. Volvo. Volvo is another company that does all their stuff overseas. BMW, or BMW, as it's called in Germany, where they're from. Yeah. But if you look at the majority of the cars on the road here in MERICA, okay, we've got your Fords, your Chevys, your GMC, your Chryslers, right? Those American-made, considered American-made cars are made in North America. Like, those are North American made cars because they're made in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And other brands, Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, all have plants here in America to fully assemble and make their cars. Fiat was bought out by Ford, Selma. Fiat was bought by Ford. So I don't think Porsche is made here. They're not made here. Ferraris, of course, that's a very Italian car. Yeah. Aston Martins, that's another one that's not made here. But you know what I mean? Like, if you look around the road, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Apparently Trump has no idea. I'm sure he couldn't tell you the brand of the bulletproof limo that he drives in, which is probably a Lincoln, also an American-made car with parts from all over the world and assembled here in America. Like, it's like ridiculous. I don't think he understands how any of this works. He doesn't know how much groceries are. Nissan also has plants here, but they are a Japanese company. Right? So it really depends. I mean, there are some, like if you go to a Hyundai dealership, you can look in the window on the sticker of that car and it will tell you its origin, right? So did it come from the North Carolina plant, the Hyundai, or did it come from Korea, from South Korea? Like, was it totally imported across the ocean? So you can find all that out, right? Yeah. I mean, Teslas are assembled here in the United States, mostly by imported workers on R1 visas. So, yeah, I'm not R1, but the employment one. R1 is for religious workers. It's not. Tesla's not a religion yet. All right, let's finish up this truth. Whatever they call it is a truth. I retruthed it. I truthed it. I don't understand what that means. Without this massive subsidy, Canada ceases to exist as a viable country. First of all, they are a Commonwealth of England, and they probably supply most of the world with lumber, maple syrup, and nickel for batteries. So they're doing just fine. They're doing, and also natural gas and oil. Okay, they're doing just fine. Harsh but true. Therefore, Canada should become our cherished 51st state. Much lower taxes and far better military protection for the people of Canada, and no tariffs. So that was like his first threat, right? And then we have to scroll through the stuff that he's just done today because I can't. This is just all today, guys. Anybody that's against tariffs, including the fake news Wall Street Journal, the Wall Street Journal, one of the oldest and most prestigious news agencies in the world, okay? Fake news. And hedge funds is only against them because these people or entities are controlled by China. No, the Wall Street News is definitely not controlled by China or other foreign or domestic companies. Anybody that loves and believes in the United States of America is in favor of No. But see, I want you guys to pay close attention to the wording here. Anybody that loves and believes in America, okay, believes in the United States of America, is in favor of tariffs. They should have never ended in favor of the income tax system in 1913. The response to tariffs, no. What the frack is that? Okay, I guess I can bookmark Trump's tweet. No, thank you. Okay. So, no, that's not facts. That's also from yesterday. He's been talking about this all day, trying to get everybody to understand that you're anti-American if you don't like this. Okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, are they doing apartheid again in South Africa, Donnie? Are we going to war with South Africa? Oh, I don't think that Elon's going to like that. You know, because Elon's from from the continent of Africa. I think he's going to be really mad. South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. It's a bad situation that the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention. A massive human rights violation at minimum is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. Yet we're doing mass deportations here in this country. I don't. This is the look what one hand is doing while the other one is doing something else. Okay, so this is, I'm scrolling down to the other tweet, that the other truth that he did. Look at, this is how they're all saying goodbye to Obama. It needs to be in the Smithsonian for Spy versus Spy, Comb Over King, and J.D. Vance and his wife waving goodbye to the Obamas. Okay. Yeah, the other one came down apparently. There was another one that I put in the... Oh, this is it here. Democrats are purposely delaying virtually all of my nominees, no matter how good and well qualified someone is. They are taking maximum time for approval. That is their right, sir. That is their right. Okay. And laughing about it. I don't think anybody's laughing about your ridiculous nominees, sir. They're having a good time at the country's expense and safety. How long did they take to confirm Obama's nominees? Anybody know? Yeah. I'm getting 10,000 notifications. Please hold. When I swipe and I want a specific thing, can we maybe do that, phone? Thank you. Okay. Yes. That is what I call my focus, guys. When I'm live, it's called Do It Live. If George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were nominated for a position, the Democrats would take it out to the last moment before having to approve. What are we on? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? You just took the phone booth back and got GW and fucking Lincoln. I think if you brought them forward in time to see who you are, sir, I think George Washington would stab you in the face with a bayonet himself. I do not think you would last 1 minute in a room with George Washington. Or Abraham Lincoln. I think they would both do away with you as soon as they read the documentation of what you've done to this country. They would absolutely take matters into their own hands and abscond with you. Yeah, honeybee, I agree with you. I don't think America is the greatest country in the world. It's not. We're a fucking mess right now. We are a fucking mess. I would love to also go to Switzerland, but Swiss people are kind of mean. And they're also like, Swiss people don't have their own language. Did you know that? So Switzerland borders 3 countries, Germany, France, and Italy. And so because of that, they have Swiss French, Swiss Germans, and Swiss Italians. And those 3 types of Swiss do not really like each other very much. Did you guys know that? Yeah. So, yeah. I think Switzerland chooses to be neutral because they're really 3 different ethnic groups of people who kind of all call them, the same country, but they just sort of are like, we're in it together and we're not going to fuck with everybody else, right? Anyway. They can't get over the landslide loss suffered in presidential election, but the Democrats don't understand with what they're doing, and their losses will only get greater. See right here, it's always the threats. It's never just like, oh, they lost. They can't get over it. And it's only going to get worse. There's never not a threat in what he says. I think Switzerland is a great country. And I've met Swiss Italians, Swiss Germans, and Swiss French people. And they were all lovely. And we were all on the RPF together. So there you go. Yes. Okay. Republicans must get tough and must get tough very fast. That's very L. Ron Hubbard thing to say. We need our nominees now for the safety and good of our country. Right. Because let's look at, this is just, this is an NPR article from the 28th. Okay. So was 5 days ago. Okay. This is all the executive orders Trump has signed after 1 week in office. Okay. So, President Trump promised to do a lot right from the start if elected, and he certainly did that. Okay. Some of the actions will have immediate impacts on and others, like his attempt of getting rid of birthright citizenship for people born in the U.S. to parents without permanent legal status, will be challenged in the courts. But it's still on the books right now. Right? Trump's actions include memorandums, proclamations, and executive orders. All can be consequential, but some have more weight than others. Orders are publicly tracked in the Federal Register and cannot be easily overturned by Congress, though they can be blocked or challenged, right? So they made a list. Okay? And we've read a lot of these. We've read a lot of these, right? Unleashing American Energy, what it's about. This, I'm going to put this link in the chat so you guys can see all the proclamations and everything, and what they're going to do. Like, this is a good summation of what this looks like and what they're actually doing, right? The putting America first. We read that. It's environment. We're going to drill, baby, drill. Ending the weaponization of the federal government, right? There's a lot about the federal government. Okay. And you can see when these are happening. Cancels contradictory past executive orders. Okay. 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, immediately. That was the Alaska one, just to we're just going to go up there and we're going to rip Alaska apart. That's it. Fuck it. No more national lands. Effective immediately, ending the weaponization of the federal government, right? That's the stripping of the DEI and everything else. Restoring accountability to policy, effective immediately. Effective immediately, holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive government information. So he revoked the security clearance of dozens of intelligence officials, right, who signed a 2020 letter discrediting and disparaging report about Hunter Biden. So everybody who was like, this report is nonsense, boom, all their clearance is gone. Okay. Reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service. So that's 120 days. We have 60 days on ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs. This is more on DEI. 60 days to do that. And that affects the federal government. Okay, biological truth. This is man, woman only, effective immediately. That's why they started revoking trans people's passports with the letter X on it. There is effective immediately. He has done away with trans people. They cannot exist in America on paper. Okay, so you cannot identify as non-binary, trans, or anything other than the sex. The parts in your pants, okay? It should have just been called the Parts in Your Pants Initiative. But if you physically identify as anything else, that doesn't exist. There you go. Erased. Effective immediately. Doge. Boom. Signed it in. Elon. That's why Elon walked in. Where is that thing? Guys, I get so many messages and then I forgot to save it as a photo. But there was a tweet from the Bureau of Land Management or National Parks Association. Let me see if I can find it. About Elon marching into the offices and basically demanding full access to OPM. And they were like, bro, you don't need all that access. you know, oh, for crying in a bucket. Yes. It's me. Me. Thank you. I got signed out of everything. Let's look up. What the fuck does Canada even export? Gay? Oh, somebody else has taken over the national parks Twitter. So it's all MAGA now. Never mind. I'll have to find it. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was from a few days ago, but this is Department of Government Efficiency. Following the $45 million in DEI scholarships in Burma, this has been canceled. Why does the Department of Government Efficiency look like a coin from Scrooge McDuck's vault? Or like Richie Rich? How did that happen? Yeah, and can you guys read this part on the time? So Doge Bros are bragging today that they got DEI scholarships for Burma canceled. Those are USAID's Lincoln scholarships, which help young people struggling for freedom in Burma's dictatorship, a cause America has supported under Republican and Democratic presidents. Yeah, anything that has to do with DEI, guys, anything that has to do with DEI, I want to see, is there a way to find Doge? I don't think I'm following them yet. No, I don't want Dodger. I want Doge. Doge. Oh, here's a miracle. The Dogecoin is up. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Oh, I don't want to follow that guy. Yeah, I want to unfollow. I want to follow this. Okay, so this is their official page. The Department of Government Efficiency. Doge. It's like Elon knew that he was going to get this. How did he save that at? Even after Dogecoin was announced. Right? This morning, 20 consulting contracts, mostly focused on strategic communication and executive coaching, were terminated for immediate savings of $26 million. Strategic communication and executive coaching. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but okay. And then he's using his official government position to promote himself. That's not a conflict of interest at all. At all. In the past 6 days, the number of terminated what? I have to look over here. In the past 6 days, the number of lease terminations of underutilized buildings has increased from 3 to 22, with savings increased from 1.6 to 44.6 million. The GSA terminated 3 leases of mostly empty office space, with tenants relocating to nearby buildings in the GSA portfolio. With savings of 1.6 million, these are the first steps to right the size of the federal real estate portfolio of more than 75,000 leases. So here's the update. This is the update on data DEI related contract cancellations with full detail. So these are supposed DEI contracts, the total number of contracts per department, and the ceiling value, and then now what we're supposedly saving, which is now $1 billion. Yeah, let's cancel the USAID. Fuck those guys. Social Security Administration, interesting. What did that $419,000 cancel? who's not getting money? Is that money going right back into Social Security? The Small Business Association. Now, fuck those guys. Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. Okay. Railroad Retirement Board. How are they spending $150,000 on DEI? What are they classifying this as? Oh, let's get rid of stuff in NOAA for sure. We don't need any other perspectives in NOAA. We're just monitoring the whole motherfucking earth. Oh, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission? Yeah, let's fuck those guys. Right? OPM? $616 million? What the fuck were they spending that on? $21 contracts in the Department of Treasury. $36 million. Somehow OPM had 3 contracts, supposedly worth $616 million. What were these 3 contracts worth $200 million each? I don't believe that they spent that much money on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Are these the leases? No, these are the lease contract cancellations. Boy, man, they had some expensive offices. Okay, so this is all real estate? Man, people are charging the government a lot of money. Somebody should look into that. Who are these real estate guys who are allowed to charge the government? That's our fucking money. Anyway. Okay. I want to know where that $1 billion is going. Is it going to go back to pay back Social Security so that maybe I get some that I've been paying into? Yeah. Where's Elon Musk on there? Exactly. No, that was DEI related contracts. That was not real estate. Right? So let's go back to Trump's page. Let's just see what okay. Executive order for Sovereign Wealth Fund. This is literally an hour ago. Let's see.
Is there any chance that Canada or China could also get out of the tariffs after you struck a deal with Mexico?
Well, nobody's out with Mexico. We had a great talk with Mexico, and
we had a great talk with Mexico. Who in their non-serial killer mind uses a gigantic Sharpie to sign anything? What is wrong with this man? Oh yeah, Trump charges every time Trump goes to golf at Mar-a-Lago, we pay for that. And he charges them full price for the rooms for the Secret Service, full price for the facility. He charges himself. He's making that money back, but the government's paying for it, right? It was literally making me sick to think about it, guys. Literally making me sick.
We had President Sheinbaum is a woman. I like her very much. We've had good relationships, but we have to stop fentanyl from coming in, whether
yeah, but we don't do that with tariffs.
I like somebody or not, and we have to stop the illegal aliens from coming in. I think we've lost 200,000 people on average a year for many years.
Yeah, his drug statistics are not actually wrong, right? Like, we are losing a lot of people, okay? And fentanyl is a crisis. The drug crisis is real. But what would solve the drug crisis in this country would be actual mental health care. How about that? How about we do actual mental health care? And we pay people a living wage. And we help people to understand who they are and feel better about themselves so they don't turn to drugs and alcohol as an abusive habit to harm themselves or numb themselves from the harm that they've experienced. How about that?
Much higher than the 100,000, could be even closer to 300,000. And they've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever. 10,000.
Permanently does mean forever. But I love how he's like permanently, like forever.
soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do. Other than that, we've agreed to talk and consider various other things. We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a very good relationship. I also spoke with...
Why does he have an enormous weird penny behind him? And then is that a teeny tiny World Cup? What are these things behind him? And is that a Roosevelt statue also on the horse there? Is that who he thinks he's like? He thinks he's like Lincoln and Teddy? Is that what he's emulating?
Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, and we had a good talk in the morning, but I did ask him a couple of questions, like, banks aren't allowed to do business in Canada. Canada is very tough. Canada is very, we're not treated well by Canada, and we have to be treated well.
Is there any chance
we're not treated well by Canada?
that Canada
What? Okay, and then this is today. Very friendly conversation. blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and to answer your question, Stacey, most fen and other things is made in America, like meth and other stuff, right? I mean, in Oregon, up until last year, was it last year or maybe late 2023, buying Sudafed over the counter was illegal here. You had to go to the pharmacy counter, wait in that fakakta line to get Sudafed. And then before that, you had to get it via prescription. So if you needed Sudafed because your allergies are like mine and they're ridiculously out of control, a doctor had to prescribe you an over-the-counter medicine in almost every other state because we have such an amazing, meth crisis here. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the Breaking Bad portion of America where people are just, making drugs, right? And that's a bigger, in my personal opinion, that's a bigger crisis than the import of drugs into this country. And I could be totally wrong, but it's like we have people who are so painfully poor and so painfully, in a mental state where their only idea for survival is to numb themselves from everything, right? Like, it's insane. It's insane. You can get the Sudafed now. Sometimes they leave it out, but a lot of times you still have to go to the pharmacy counter here. But it's like, yeah, you do have to show your ID. Yeah, because it's in the controlled substance thing because it can be made into other stuff. I mean, the same thing happens if you have an anxiety medicine, right? You have to show your ID and prove it to you to get your anxiety meds or to get Adderall or things like this, right? It's just, it's ridiculous that we're so focused on fentanyl. Now, I don't disagree. Fentanyl is extremely dangerous. It can be, put into things, and we have no idea. And that's what's happening to most people who are overdosing on drugs is that the drug that they're taking, whether it's like cocaine or marijuana or something else, ecstasy and things like that, it has been cut with fentanyl. And when you say a drug is cut with another drug, okay, that means that they get a certain amount of, let's take ecstasy, right? So let's say they get a pound of ecstasy in, okay? To make more than a pound of ecstasy, they will then crush it up and combine it with another substance to stretch out the amount of ecstasy that they can actually sell. That's cutting it. People have done it with all kinds of things, talcum powder, and other things of a less dangerous way, but people are cutting it with fentanyl now. I I don't know why they're doing that. The only thing I can assume is that they know how lethal fentanyl is and that they're just literally trying to murder, drug addicts or people who experiment with drugs. Because that's what happens. A teen will go to a party, guys, and, somebody offers them an ecstasy and they're like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to try it. And they're dead because that ecstasy was laced with fentanyl and even the person who gave it to him didn't know. Right? I don't think all of these things are the same. Right. And this is why I talk to my kids really strictly about, if they are at a party, even with people that are their friends, they have very strict rules for them. Right. Number one, don't drink any drink that is offered to you. Obviously, do not accept any physical substance, and bring your own drink, BYOD, and walk around like this with your fucking thumb on the can. And if you set that drink down, that's it. That drink is dead to you. You better have brought a 6-pack or you're not drinking anything else, because you cannot literally, this is the situation we're in. You cannot trust. I was the same way in the 90s when I was in high school, but at least people that I knew were overt about it. They knew I was a Scientologist. And so they were trying to put acid in my drink because they wanted to see what would happen. Right. Frankly, I should have let them do that. Would have saved me 26 years of pain and suffering. All right. But there you go, Judy. That's why you get your 420 at the dispensary. You have to get these things from trusted sources that, are like basically farm to table. You know what I'm saying? And roll your own in that instance, kind of a thing. It is just, yeah. Yep. This is very true. This is very true. Yeah, our entire system is very corrupt. I don't know what to say other than that. And Trump is taking that up to like a million. He hasn't backed off of the whole Greenland thing. He's literally is like, I'm going to do a survey of the Greenland people, and if they want to be independent, I'm going to offer them that, and I'm going to buy the country. And we know what he wants to do in Greenland, guys. It's going to become a military complex and a mining field. And the first peoples of Greenland are like, go fuck yourself. And then the people that have moved there from Denmark and other European countries are like, no, we don't really want that. We enjoy our life here. We don't need America, but money talks, guys. Money talks. And if he offered to buy, because there's not even like 100,000 people living on Greenland, right? It's not a populated country. There you go. There you go, Mr. Chips. I'm terribly sorry to hear about the loss of your niece, but this is exactly what happens, right? All it takes is one with fentanyl. It's awful. It's awful. It's not just, gross homeless people, how people want to think of, the houseless, who are just, plaguing themselves with drugs all day. This is your neighbor. This is, your friend, your kid that this can happen to. That's how super dangerous it is. So on the fentanyl crisis, I don't disagree with Trump. I disagree with the way he's going about it. And the fact that this man is literally trying to take away our ability to see the Constitution freely on the White House website is gone, right? And that his idea of accomplishing things is to put out all of these emergency orders and, different things. It's very scary, right? So this is imposing duties, blah, 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 drug trafficking organizations. So what is he ordering? This is about the guards and the troops. All articles that are products of Canada as defined by the Federal Register notice described in subsection E of this section Federal Reserve notice, and except for those products described in subsection B, shall be consistent with law, subject to an additional 20. Okay, so these are the tariffs. $25%. All that's going to do. Who went grocery shopping this weekend? Who went grocery shopping this weekend? Anybody besides me? Everything is expensive. Guys, I just went to the store. Okay. I'll tell you what I bought, because that's why I was a little bit late, because I made a very quick chicken salad for me and my wife and my daughter, who's home sick from school today. So I went and bought a rotisserie chicken, one bunch of bananas, a container of coffee, 2 cucumbers, 1 thing of spring onions, green onions. Okay. The little squeezy garlic. Trying to remember. Oh, 1 thing of raspberries, a little small thing of raspberries. Okay. Some pre-cut mushrooms, a little thing of that. What else did I get? I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, and a fresh baked loaf of sourdough from Safeway. Just put a guess in how much all of those things cost me. But just a wild guess. Anyone? Yeah. Verity, you got anti-fuzz almost exactly. Almost exactly. It was like $42. $42 for all that. And guys, I'm going to show you the coffee that I bought. This is on Amazon. I'm not buying it from Amazon. It's actually cheaper at the store. So that's why I'm buying it at Amazon, in the store and not on Amazon. This is what I buy. The Cafe Bustelo espresso ground coffee, because I make coffee for me and my wife in the morning. $1 million, right? And at the store, it's $18 for that. No, there was no tax anti-fuzz because we don't pay sales tax here in Oregon, right? So people were like, I'm going to move to Oregon. There's no sales tax, right? Guys, we pay one of the highest state tax rates in the country. It is so fucked. And our federal taxes are not low either. The best state in terms of tax equality, I would say, to live in is the state just north to me, Washington State. Where they don't have state income tax, but you do pay a sales tax and you pay your federal income tax. Yeah. But like it's supposed to snow here at some point this week. So like the shelves are fucked. Right. But I got all that so I could, and I got some celery too. I forgot the celery because you can't have a chicken salad. So I got the rotisserie chicken. I can make a bunch of stuff out of that. I used about half of it in the salad. Chopped up some celery, chopped up some spring onions, and made a whole little aioli on top there with spices and things. And it was quite delicious. And I had a little bit of that before I came on the air here because I was feeling hungry, but I'm trying to eat better. Yeah, you can, all I'm saying is that it's, tax is relative to where you live in. Right. And I used to live in California, and Stacey, honey, you live in SoCal. SoCal fucking, yeah, your rates are higher. Your rates are higher. Yeah. When you lived in Hawaii, it was 4.5. Yeah. And guys, here's the deal. Here's what I don't understand as an American. Okay. In 1775, when the Boston Tea Party happened and we were like, no taxation without representation, and they fucking dumped all the tea in the harbor and we're like, fuck this shit. I mean, that was a big fuck you, right? Because if you remember that England dominated planet Earth, right, by, the East India Trading Company, right? They would go and collect spices, and tea was like the more valuable than money, let's be honest, at that time. They controlled the world's trade centers. through the East India Trade Company, which was their strong arm that went around the world, occupying places, enslaving people, taking over countries, and things like that, right? With the full backing of the British Empire. Okay. And so this group of misfits here in America were like, fuck it. We're not enjoying King George's shit, and we don't get anything back. So fuck you. Right? I mean, we didn't want to be under an external rule. We wanted to rule ourselves. We wanted, oh, thank you, Witch Share. That's very generous of you. We wanted to rule ourselves, right? So we wrote the Constitution, the royal we here. The founding fathers wrote the Declaration of Independence, and then they wrote the Constitution. But let's go back to the Declaration of Independence a little bit, because Trump is trying to rewind the clock basically back to like 1820 in rules and regulations for women, land, etc. Right? But let's go all the way back to the Declaration of Independence here for a minute, okay? Thank you, National Archives, for still existing. Okay, for now. Okay, so this is the Declaration of Independence. You can see it here. It's it's lasted 249 years, guys. So that's pretty amazing. It'll be 249 this July 4th. Okay, and here we go. Okay. And I want you guys to pay attention, because this is what the original Band of Misfits said. That it only gave 4 out of the 5. One person will get it in a minute here or something. It'll pop up, share. Sometimes YouTube is weird. I don't know. I'm not in control of that. I'm not in charge of that, unfortunately. I just have to make my screen here bigger, guys, so that I can see what I'm reading. All right. So, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for their future security. Guys, are we in a despotism right now? Do we have a despot? I'm pretty sure we do. We'll look that up in a second here. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To provide this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions from within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others, encourage their migration hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administrations of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independent and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, J6 people being, pardoned, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, tariff, 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 for imposing taxes on us without our consent, also the tariffs, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of a trial by jury, mass deportations, anyone, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, Guantanamo Bay, for abolishing the free system of English laws in neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislature and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, and burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He's at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrection among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. That's a little gross racism there in our Declaration of Independence, but it's there. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We've reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity and have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must, therefore, acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, due in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have the power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Okay. So here's the 13 colonies and the signatories here. So from Georgia, we have Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, and George Walton. Maryland, Samuel Chase, William Paca, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Want to make sure he got his name in there. Delaware, Caesar Rodney, George Reed, Thomas McKean, Massachusetts. Sam Adams, John Adams, Robert Treat Payne, R.T. Payne, and Eldridge Gerry, North Carolina. William Hopper, Joseph Hughes, John Penn. Virginia, George Wythe, Richard Henry Lee, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harrison, Thomas Nelson Jr., Francis Lightfoot Lee, and Carter Braxton. From New York, William Floyd, Philip Livingston, Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris. From Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins, William Ellery, right? From South Carolina, Edward Rutledge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lynch Jr., Arthur Middleton. From New Jersey, Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon, Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, Abraham Clark. From Connecticut, Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, Williams, Oliver Wolcott. From New Hampshire, New Hampshire just got the one guy, Matthew Thornton. Josiah Bartlett and William Whipple. From Massachusetts, of course, the guy who had to take up half the page, John Hancock. And from Pennsylvania, Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Clymer, James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, and George Ross. These are the guys. These are the guys who said, no more. Now, if we look over these things, I think Trump took the Declaration of Independence and decided that he was going to make that new government inside America, but didn't get the agreement, the consent of the people. He thinks he has the consent of the people, right? But consent appears in here quite a number of times, guys. They took consent very seriously in 1776. Yeah. But look at all the things that he's doing that are a direct violation of this Declaration of Independence. And I've said for a long time that the upper paragraph here is very important, right? That basically states, if at such time the government becomes bullshit, that we should redo it. Except for we did it. We never did that. We never did that. And now Trump's doing it. And he's basically doing all of the things that King George, that we rebelled against. If you look at this list of things, this is literally Project 2025. No, of course not, Christine. Do I think he read it? I think he saw both movies. I don't think Trump reads much of anything, to be honest. I think people give him spreadsheets that tell him if things are good or bad, and he looks at that. You know, yeah, I don't think, personally, I don't think he's a big reader of really anything, especially. No, I have not forgotten that. That's why it says all men are created equal. Right? I definitely have not forgotten that. But that's why we should have rewritten everything back when women started wearing pants, you know? We've desperately needed a rewrite of our Constitution for years. Now, there have been a lot of democracies that have been born because of America's independence, because we became this quote unquote great nation, because this American ideals has been spread across the world like a goddamn virus, like Kraft macaroni and cheese, right? But let's take a look at this. All right. So one of those relatively new democracies, okay, that I would say, okay, they made a constitutional act in 1986. I'm just trying to find the actual thing here. Okay. No. How do I? This site is very hard. Okay. So I'm going to go to New Zealand's constitution. Okay. I just wanted to get it. So this is New Zealand's constitution. Okay. Where can I find a copy of it, though? Nope. This is the Governor General. Come on, New Zealand, help me out. I just want to see it. How do I read it? They use a parliamentary procedure. Anyway, inside their constitution and the rights that they have passed, one day I'll find it, is, far more, and they're still like in the Commonwealth, right? But I'm trying to find, it doesn't, I want to just read it. I can't. But if you look at other countries that have come up with constitutions since ours, they are far more liberal. What was the other country that came up with one? And they elected a woman in let's look at Iceland. Right? So this is Iceland's constitution. Okay. So Iceland is a republic with parliamentary government. Alþingi and the president of Iceland jointly exercise legislative power. The president, other governmental authorities referred to in this constitution and elsewhere in law, blah, 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 blah. President of Iceland shall be elected by the people. There we go. Any person who's at least 35 and fulfills the requirements necessary to vote in elections to Alþingi, I don't know what that is, with the exceptions of the residency requirement, is eligible. President shall be elected by direct secret ballot of those who are eligible to vote. And the has to be proposed by no less than 1,500 voters and not more than 3,000. The candidate, if there's more than one who receives the most votes, is duly elected. If there is only one candidate, he's duly elected without vote. Look how simple it is. Simple. Simple. The president's term of office begins on the 1st of August and ends on the 31st of July, 4 years later. Okay. If the president dies or resigns prior to the expiry of his term, a new president shall be elected for a period ending on the 31st of July of the 4th year from election. There you go. The president, okay. The president of the republic may not be a member of Alþingi. What is Alþingi? What is that? I know I'm saying that wrong. I know I forgot the other I. Oh, it's the Icelandic Parliament. It's the oldest surviving parliament in the world. Wow. That's crazy. I see. So the president can't be a parliamentary member. Well, that's nice. You got to keep those things separated, right? So if you want to be in the parliament, then you go be in the parliament. Thingi, thingy. But I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, and I apologize to the people of Iceland. I really want to come see your country. It's like my #1 destination. All right. So he's got to take an oath to uphold the Constitution. The president of the republic may not be held accountable for executive acts. The same applies to those who exercise presidential authority. The president may not be prosecuted on a criminal charge except with the consent of parliament, essentially. President may be removed from office before his term if approved by majority. Okay, blah, 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 blah. He can get impeached. He has to reside in or near Reykjavik. They don't have a White House, but he just has to be like close. He entrusts his authority to ministers. The seat of government is in Reykjavik. So the ministers are accountable for all executive acts. So that's like his cabinet, right? President appoints ministers and discharges them. He determines their numbers and assignments. The state council is composed of the president of the republic and the ministers and is presided over by the president. Laws and important government measures shall be submitted to the president in the state council. He appoints public officials by law. I'm just looking for like rights and stuff here. This is all about the president. He's got to go to parliament. He can adjourn the sessions. He can draft bills that go there. All laws shall be published. The form of publication and implementation of the laws shall be in accordance with law. Okay. In case of urgency, the president may issue provisional laws when parliament is not in session. Okay. Such laws must not, however, be contrary to the Constitution. Okay. They shall always be submitted to parliament as soon as it convenes. Okay. He has the power of pardon. Okay, so the parliament is 63 members elected by the people, 63 people in their parliament. For each respective electoral district, 6 seats shall be allocated. Okay. So it's just one type of parliament. There's no House and Senate, just one. They're all in one chamber. You have to be 18 and of Icelandic nationality to have the right to vote. Okay. So they're going to have a session. Their session starts in October. Committee members. No bill may be passed until it's received 3 readings. They got to go over it 3 times, guys. Budget. Blah, 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 blah. This is judiciary. So they have 3 branches. They have the parliament, the president, and the judges here, okay? The Evangelical Lutheran Church shall be the state church of Iceland, and as such, it shall be supported and protected by the state. That was what they wrote when they made their constitution. No one... Okay, but Article 63 says all persons have the right to form religious associations and to practice their religion in conformity with their individual convictions. Nothing may, however, be preached or practiced which is prejudicial to good morals or public order. Like no cults. I love it. No one may lose any of his civil or national rights on account of his religion, nor may anyone refuse to perform any generally acceptable civil duty on religious grounds. Listen up, cake bakers in Colorado. Everyone shall be free to remain outside religious associations. Oh, you don't have to have religion. Look at that. No one shall be obliged to pay any personal dues to any religious association of which he is not a member. A person who is not a member of any religious association shall pay to the University of Iceland the dues that he would have paid to such an association if he had become a member. So if you're not going to pay your 5% to the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Iceland, you're going to pay that 5% of your wages to the University of Iceland, which, by the way, I believe everybody goes to for free. So you're just paying to go to school. But if you're a religious member, you just pay that. You don't have to pay, and you're still going to go to school. So it benefits the people. Everyone shall be equal before everyone. They didn't use man. They didn't use woman. Everyone shall be equal before the law and enjoy human rights, irrespective of sex, religion, opinion, national origin, race, color, property, birth, or other status. Men and women shall enjoy equal rights in all respects. See how simple that is? See how simple that is to write? Like, can we copy paste that? No one may be deprived of Icelandic citizenship. Loss of citizenship may, however, be provided for by law in the event a person accepts citizenship in another state. An alien can only be granted Icelandic citizenship according to law. An Icelandic citizen cannot be barred from entering Iceland nor expelled therefrom. The rights of aliens to enter and reside in Iceland and the reasons for which they may be expelled shall be laid down by law. No one may be barred from leaving Iceland except by judicial decision. A person may, however, be prevented from leaving Iceland by lawful arrest. Every person lawfully residing in Iceland shall be free to choose his residence and shall enjoy freedom of travel subject to any limitations laid down by law. No one may be deprived of his liberty except as permitted by law. Any person deprived of his liberty shall be entitled to be informed promptly of the reasons for this measure. Any person arrested by reason of suspicion of criminal conduct shall be brought before a judge without undue delay. If he is not released at once, the judge shall within 24 hours issue a reasoned decision on whether he shall be detained on remand. Detention on remand may only be ordered due to a charge subject to heavier sanctions than fines or punitive custody. The right of a person detained on remand to refer the decision on his remand to a superior court shall be guaranteed by law. A person shall never be detained on remand for longer than necessary. If the judge deems that he may be released on bail, the amount of bail shall be determined by a judicial order. Any person deprived of his liberty for other reasons shall be entitled to have the legality of the measure reviewed by a court as soon as possible. If his deprivation of liberty proves to have been unlawful, he shall be released forthwith. Any person deprived of his liberty without valid reason shall have the right to compensation. No one may be subjected to torture or any other inhumane, degrading treatment or punishment. No one shall be required to perform compulsory labor. I could not say that word. I apologize. No one may be subjected to punishment unless found guilty of conduct that constituted a criminal offense according to the law at the time when it was committed or is totally analogous to such conduct. Okay? Accessory after the fact. The sanctions may not be more severe than the law permitted at the time of commission. Death penalty may never be stipulated by law. There's no death penalty. No death penalty. Let's see what, but you guys see what I'm saying? Like how easy it is to like literally, figure it out. Let me go here. Oh, good. Yeah. Here's all the people we were helping with the U.S. aid. Fuck those guys. Oh, Axios is at Davos right now. That's what we need. Davos. Yeah, it is hard to unring. I'm just trying to see what's happening here. Right, Judy? It's like a constitution. It's like a constitution. Let's just Google it. Let's just Google it. How about if I spell Canada right? So Trump discusses tariffs with Canada and Mexico. Elon Musk says USA to be shut down. Oh, good. I'm glad we got Hegseth up there. Trump appoints the Treasury Secretary as acting head of Consumer Protection Agency. What? I like this Constitution too, Judy. This is... Oh, good. Oklahoma's going to do its own Doge. I'm just trying to find out what happened. You can't go. Let's see if it lets us go here.
see Canada become the 51st state. That's something that
can't.
Canadian officials are pushing back on, saying Canada is going to remain a sovereign and independent country. But I'm definitely watching and talking to sources to see if we can get anything more specifically, whether or not there was something that could be worked out
is talking
after that
about
phone
it.
call today. Gabe.
And Yamiche, the president spoke with the leaders of Canada and Mexico today. So are there any plans for him to speak with Chinese President Xi?
President Trump said there are plans to speak with the leader of China. We're not
So
sure when
Yamiche
that's
is
gonna
saying
happen.
that
The
Trump
White House press secretary
is going to
said
go
she
into
thought it would
talks
be in the
with
next few
China.
days. We should remind folks that with China, they're saying that they're talking about putting in their own, what they're calling, quote, countermeasures, but they're also saying they're going to file a lawsuit with the World
And China
Trade
is vowing
Organization.
countermeasures
So China's
on the
looking
U.S.
at this and
tariffs.
acting a little bit differently than Mexico and Canada. So very interesting to see what happens there once the president connects with the leaders of China. Gabe.
Yamiche Sender at the White House first. Yamiche, thank you. Julia, I want to turn to you. Give us a reality check here. How much of
Let me see if anybody on YouTube is covering it right now. They're not live.
Progress is a
Hang
philosophy,
on 1 second here.
a choice, a reason to keep going.
Like,
Introducing
oh, Yamiche is the best. I love her.
Tonal.
I love her.
We
But I
took the
couldn't play it
smartest,
even if I
most
wanted to,
effective
guys,
strength training
because they
system in the
block
world
other
and made
people
it
from
stronger.
streaming their stream. Okay.
Mr. President, why is it important for Elon Musk to have access?
Let's go over this because this is the thing I was trying to find the tweet about earlier. But let's just. This is from C-SPAN. We're going to put that up. Okay, check it out.
Mr. President, why is
Do you hear that Sharpie noise?
it important for Elon Musk to have access to the payment systems at Treasury?
Well,
Did you hear the question? So why is it important for Elon to have access to the payment systems in the U.S. Treasury? Okay.
he's got access only to letting people go that he thinks are no good if we agree with him, and it's only if we agree with him. He's a very talented guy from the standpoint of management and costs, and we put him in charge of seeing what he can do with certain groups and certain numbers. Some of the numbers are horrible, what he's found. Think of it, $100 million on condoms.
Now we're going to get into what he's cut so far.
To Hamas.
How I want to see the report on how we were airdropping condoms to Hamas. I would love to see the receipt for how many condoms that buys. Can anyone tell me how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I mean, like, how much condoms are we supplying to Hamas and why? Also, no.
Condoms to Hamas and many other things that are frankly even more ridiculous. And they're finding
More ridiculous than $100 million on condoms for anybody. I don't even think we spend that on condoms for school kids in high school.
tremendous waste, really waste more than anything else, I think you could say. Probably fraud and abuse can be added to it, the more standard waste.
I mean, Trump would be the expert on fraud and abuse. Absolutely.
Fraud and abuse, but they're finding tremendous amounts of really bad things, bad spending. You've been writing about some of it, frankly, and some of the things that they've been doing is just terrible. Elon can't do and won't do
Leon, his friend Leon Musk.
anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we won't.
I thought he had carte blanche already. That's why he walked in there, was like, give me your hard drives.
But he reports in, and it's something that he feels very strongly about, and I'm impressed because he's running obviously a big company. It has nothing to do if there's a conflict that we won't let him get near it.
No conflict for a guy who's already contracted by the government to have full access to how the government is spending its money. How is that not already a conflict of interest? He's a government contractor. Yet now he gets to see how much other people got paid. This is like, guys, if you were right now to go into your HR department, okay, I dare you, I dare any one of you to go directly into your HR department, okay, march right in and say, I'd like to see the spreadsheet of everybody's compensation right now. I want to see what everybody's getting paid. And you know, it's not a conflict of interest. It's just my interest. I want to make sure there's no waste going on. Do you think that your company would give you access to that information? Do you think your company would let you know what everybody else is getting paid and how they got paid and what we spent money on and how much we spent in toilet paper versus giving you a raise? Put a 1 in the chat if you think you could do that. Oh, I think Trump looks in terrible health right now. Actually, like he's probably going to have a heart attack. He's one, bucket of KFC away from a heart attack. Those puffy eyes and shit, that is not just lack of sleep. That is extremely poor health, right? No one's going to give you access to what every single vendor, every single thing is. If you're a vendor, it's a better example. If I'm a vendor for T-Mobile, and now the FCC has given me access to decide what telecommunications companies are spending that's waste. And I walk into T-Mobile and Verizon and AT&T and I'm like, show me all your books because we're going to cut the fat. It's never going to happen. But Elon is one of the government's biggest contractors. And now he gets to decide who gets what. If Lockheed Martin is getting more than him for their planes, well, that's not fair. If, Boeing is getting more, you got to think of all these industrial military complex contracts that we have that Elon wants to dominate and be in charge of. That's what's happening. Now, Trump knows he can't do that, right? He's supposed to be Switzerland. He's supposed to be the president. He's supposed to be the president of all the people. So he takes a guy who we've witnessed in real time destroy an entire company from the inside out while claiming it has better free speech, destroying the lives of the workers. Just talk to former Tesla workers, okay? And he's in charge of who gets paid what and why, because it needs to be efficient. Oh, I'm sure he has, Christine, via the stock market, which is benefiting bajillionaires like himself, and the valuation of his, car company with all these bans and everything else is expected to go up. Right? Let's just see here. Oh, I don't want to go there. That's awful. So this is the news right now about the stock market. Okay. This is from literally just a few minutes ago. It's from 1 minute ago. Okay. The Dow rebounds from steep decline to finish with a 100-point loss after Trump pauses tariffs with Mexico. Okay. The Dow on Monday staged a major comeback, recovering steep losses from earlier in the session after President Donald Trump said tariffs against Mexico would be paused for 1 month. The 30 stock average ended the day down 122.75 points. Okay. So let's look at the stock market since Trump came into office. Oh, this is just the day. Let's look at 1 month. Okay. So Trump comes into office here. And it goes up, up, up. Yay. We're billionaires. We're so excited. And then, oh no, tariffs. Oh no. Yay, we're going to get to do whatever we want. Oh, no, tariffs. Let's look at 1 year. That's a 1 year trend of the stock market, guys. That's the entire last year of Biden's administration. Does that look like someone who fucked it up? And then what happened right here? What month is this? What month is this? That's December 17th. What happened on December 17th, y'all? I don't even know. What happened December 17th? Whoa, what are we doing now? A lot of stuff happened. Donald Trump met with TikTok CEO at Mar-a-Lago. Chuck Schumer pushed to deploy Robin radar systems to help law enforcement investigate the surge of drone sightings in New York and New Jersey. But what caused... Yeah, what happened? Oh, it was the federal interest rate. Its longest slump since 1978. Right? So 7 days, boop, 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 because the Fed wouldn't say how much interest rate, what were they going to do with the interest rates? And then it went back up. And then it plummeted down. And that was the 9th of January. And then it did this steady rise. I guess people were like, well, it's about to be Trump time. Oh, look at us. We're just awesome. The 29th. Oh no, 30th, we're going down. 31st, we're still going down. Oh, it's just been a downtrend since he announced the tariffs. That's just crazy. If we look at the last 5 years, okay, this is 2020. Who was president on March 15th, 2020? Anyone? Class? We all know. This is where Joe Biden inherited the fucking stock market. Built it up. 2022. Oh no, pandemic. Oh, we suck. Oh no, oh no. And then the last year of his presidency, let's go back. Let's see what it was on the last day of his presidency. Right there. That's the last. Oh no, sorry. That's the 26th. There we go. That's the last day of Joe Biden's presidency. It's that towards the top of the graph, guys. Right? That's okay. This is the stock market since it started. Since the 1980s. That's as far back as they're going to go. Okay. This is, as you can see, if you just look, guys, this trend, what does this trend tell you? That the people who have been playing the stock market since I was 6 years old, who's got the money? Have we ever dropped back to like pre-80s era? In terms of volume, in terms of other things. Look at that graph. Look at that graph, guys. That is a graph of rich people playing with pretend money who rule everything in this country. Right? This right here is the greed is good era. Gordon Gekko. They thought they were fucking making it, right? And then we got Clinton. Clinton came in here. Look what happened under Clinton, y'all. Boom. Look how big the stock market went under Clinton. It like doubled, tripled in size. That's the Clinton era, baby. And then GW comes in. Oh no. And then we have Obama. Yay. And then we crashed again. And then that was right there. Okay. That was another depression, but we pretended it wasn't. Oh, and then it's just been a steady boom, 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 boom under Republican and Democratic presidents. Then we had another crash, another big crash, guys. When? In June of 2022. We had another like depression. It was a mini depression. And also right here in 2019, right before Trump left office, the first time. Yeah, the economy was great under Clinton. Look at this stock market. And then baby Bush like barely brought it back to where we were. And then Obama got it up here and then, oh no. We had an actual depression, guys, in 2008. We call it the Great Recession. It was a fucking depression. Our country went broke. And instead of bailing out the country, we bailed out the big companies. And then look what happened. After the bailout of the big companies, they make more money. And the rest of us make nothing. Nothing. It's all a fucking game. It's all a fucking game that we're not actually playing. We're watching it on television, but we aren't invited. We aren't invited. But our lives depend on what that stupid fucking line on that graph does. Because that will dictate what the capitalist kings decide to do with our wages, the price of housing, the price of food, the price of everything. Because that number makes them happy. And if they are happy, then they give us a little. If they are not happy, then we, feast or famine, guys. Feast or famine, right? But it's all fucking just made up bullshit. Guys, this has been mentioned before. First of all, if you haven't given the stream a like, please give the stream a little boop. Give it a little boop of love. If you guys want some swaggity swag, I've got it. Oh no, America. Here we go. All kinds of cool stuff. Keep yourself warm. Get yourself a sticker. All right. Also, I have two other channels, guys. In case you guys didn't know, this is my political channel. We talk politics here. But you can also find me on What's Up with Nora, where I talk about having survived Scientology and things like that, and cults and other things. And of course, my newly designed logo at Gen Exercise, which I will show you guys so that you guys can find me if you've not noticed that I have a new logo. I think it's, oh, hello. I got to change that video. I'm not even subscribed to myself. Let me subscribe. Here's Gen Exercise. Here's my new logo. She's adorbs. But you guys can come check me out. I'm gonna change this video because it's I agree. The beep is alarming, guys. I thought it was funny when I did it, but I'm gonna re-edit this video and yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit better. I apologize to everybody when it comes on the beep. But yeah, last time I did a walk was 12 days ago. Shit. Was it really? Was it 12 days ago? Fucking hell. I gotta fix that. I didn't have time this morning. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. All right, guys, let's get to your comments and questions here and all the other shenanigans that went on today. Let's figure it out. First, we're going to go to members because that witch share gifted 5 ohnomerica memberships. Thank you for that. Nico got one. Hippie chick got one. Christine got one. And somebody else got one. But it doesn't show up. Maybe one more person has to come in here. Maybe we're all members now. Maybe that's what's happening. Let's check out. Oh, also share. Thank you for this. Let me pull up your chat of the supers. U.S. military and law enforcement sell military weapons to Mexican cartels. So yes, we get fentanyl from Mexico that unalives U.S. citizens, but the U.S. sends guns that are equally destructive to Mexico. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of this has been a tit for tat for forever. But all of these destructive, deadly things, in my opinion, need to stop 100%. Because it's nuts. It's totally nuts. Cute Steffi in the house. Look, I love the fireplace and everything now. Behind Trump is Elon staging a coup. Yep. He has SpaceX, Tesla, X to spread disinformation. Mm-hmm. He bought the election for Trump, but when will he take over? Well, the maggots are finding out now. They're in the find out phase, in the fuck around and find out phase. And they're finding out that this America doesn't include them. Trudeau in Canada, Trump spoke this morning, will speak again this afternoon on the eve of trade war. Trump says he will speak again to the prime minister at 3. Yeah, I think that already happened. I don't think it went well. So the big depression in the 1920s happens because of tariffs. Uh-huh. Yeah. Can I just point out that Elon Musk's nearly 80-year-old father has 2 children with his own stepdaughter who he'd raised since he was 4. So he pulled a Woody Allen. Okay. Who's not quite 40. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How does the tariffs help with the fentanyl crisis? It doesn't. It doesn't. Looks like Trump is making the ruckus. And in the background, Elon is dissolving the whole government to make a 4th right. It would be, yeah. Uh-huh. Correct. Someone who has companies with government contracts absolutely should not have any position within that government. Agreed. Thank you, Gunna Fawcett. Beth is here. You are right. Those weren't just real estate contracts. Yeah. For God's sake, get busy building a better bridge. I mean, but yes, we need better mental health resources and just more DEA agents. Let's face it, it's no easy solutions for drugs. Yeah. No, there aren't, but it should be more of a holistic approach, right? Not just the demonization of drug users. It doesn't prevent people from taking drugs. Drugs are bad. Just say no. That's what I grew up with here in the 80s. And people still fucking take drugs. Don't you just love those great talks? Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The best lies always have a little truth in them. This is very true, Selma. Oh, yeah. No. I think he's taken the Declaration of Independence and basically made King George that they were talking about into the American government, right? So he is thinking that he's giving independence to America from the woke left. The woke left is King George in his mind. Yeah. I think exactly what you're reading now is the reason Trump sent a signal to the Jan 6ers today. He wants them to be ready to hit when he needs them. Absolutely. He wants his militia ready. Oh. Yes. Yes, it did, hippie chick. I just announced the members. Look up how our Constitution can be changed. It's scary. And I think this time around, Trump is... Yeah. He has a royal flush, Abraham. He has Congress. He has both houses of Congress. No doubt on the control he has there. He has the Supreme Court and many courts below that of appeal set up in his favor, right? And he has himself. Yeah. Oh, yeah. After the Icelandic banking crisis, the women really stepped up and cleaned house. In no time, there is no playing around with Icelandic people. Yeah, every woman in Iceland walked out of work and was like, do it without us because this is bullshit. And we are on strike. We're officially, the women of Iceland, we are on strike until there's equal rights and these bankers are in jail. And guess what? There's more women in Iceland than there are men. And they had to do what these ladies said. And I fucking applaud the women of Iceland for just, fuck you. We're not going to work. Good luck. which is exactly what I think every immigrant in this country should do. I think every person who's here in any form of status trying to gain citizenship should immediately cease to work. Walk out of your jobs, protest all day, and see how well all of those companies function without you. Immigrants, to quote Hamilton and the great Lin-Manuel Miranda, immigrants, we get the job done. Yeah. If all immigrants in this country, whatever nationality you are, whatever nation you came from, simultaneously walked out into the streets of America and said, okay, you don't want us? Bye. Bye. And literally stopped working. Could you guys go anywhere? Would anything run in this country? Would a single thing? Think about the grocery stores, y'all. Let's just say grocery stores. You're going to have some vegetables in there? You're going to have fucking bread in there? You're going to have anything? How much stuff in the grocery store do you guys think is made on the backs of immigrant labor? What percentage? Because I'm going to tell you, whatever you guess is wrong. This country would cease to function, literally cease to function without our immigrant nation here that we have, our immigrant workforce. So that's what I say. Immigrants, take to the streets. There's way more of you than there is of ICE. And on top of that, if I were you, yeah, get yourself out of here. Get a free ride back to whatever country. Go reap the benefits of that country. Go reform whatever. Because this country will cease to exist without immigrants. All of the poor white people that think they're going to ascend. You're not going nowhere. You're not invited to Mar-a-Lago. You're not invited to the parties. You're not one of them. You're poor. You're disgusting. Just like the immigrants and the brown people that you think you're superior to. You will just be subjugated in a different way under this regime. You think you're going to get a seat at the table? You think you're going to be in charge? You think somehow you're going to have power? Oh, no. No. And especially the white women. I'm talking to you. White ladies who voted for this atrocity of a meat sack. You think you're going to retain rights? You think you're better? You think your daughter's never going to, come in contact with somebody who may abuse her? You voted away your grandchildren's rights for a sack of magic beans that is literally just rotted, old, previously frozen lima beans that are going to give you a disease if you eat them and will poison the earth if you plant them. This is about more than just race, guys, because Elon wants to make a white supremacist country. Don't get it twisted. Where nobody gets help. We saw that. We saw the 48 hours of no Medicaid. How'd that go? We got a little blip on the radar about people being outraged about that. He renames the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And it's just like, sure, even though our country's shoreline is less than Mexico's shoreline. It's all these little things, guys. We have had how many plane crashes in the last 4 days? What the fuck is going on? Yet Pete Hegseth isn't being held accountable for that. He tried to fucking blame goddamn Biden and DEI on the helicopter thing. Guys, if you go on TikTok and you listen to former military people and former aviators on the Black Hawk crashing into that passenger plane alone, I am thoroughly convinced, and this is my opinion, that wasn't an accident. That Black Hawk went right motherfucking into that plane. Like it meant to. That's my personal opinion. Then we had that, you know, that Texas, somebody landed on a motherfucking freeway. The plane broke up and injured people in cars and shit. Then we had that medical transport that, like, literally, that was not just a fucking nosedive into the earth. What the fuck is going on? Meanwhile, we're all upset about these plane crashes and orbs and weird shit, and Trump is stripping more and more rights, right? Like, I'm not saying don't acknowledge the tragedies that have been going on, because they are tragedies. That's it's insane to me that now it's like, it's not safe to get in an airplane in America because you literally don't know. I haven't been this trepidatious about flying since 9/11. That put your hand up, put a 1 in the chat if you feel like, yeah, I will absolutely get on a plane right now. 100%. I would board a plane and go, you know, anywhere in a plane in America. Because my answer is 0 right now. I'm not fucking getting on a plane right now. I feel like that is like the most unsafe, you know, thing to do right now. But of course, that distracts from all the other things that are very much more unsafe, right? Like, it is natural right now to, yeah, thank you, Anna Banana. Nope. You know, it's natural right now to feel worried about, you know, what the fuck is going on, because these tariffs are isolationist. Thank you guys for chiming in. Yeah. No to the plane rides, right? It's natural for us to feel trepidatious. Yeah. It was on the freeway. Look that one up. It's crazy. I saw a news thing of it. Let me look here. Oh, is that a month ago? Okay, that's a month ago.
There's something you don't see every day. An airplane has landed on 99 Tollway north of Houston. And looks like
oh, it's January 23rd. Oh, last year. But see, these things have been happening, guys. That's wild. But somebody posted it like it happened yesterday. Let's see here. So we have the Black Hawk one. That's the DC one. We have the Philly one. Okay, so it's 2 plane crashes in 1 week. Yeah, it's insane. Just those 2 alone, though. I mean, it's... Yeah, the Learjet situation is also wild. Like from DC. So there you go. Your daughter's going to Greece? This is the safest time to travel when tragedy happens? I don't quite understand that logic, but okay. Yeah, flying gives me a fair bit of anxiety, especially just really on the landing and the takeoff. Once we're in the sky, statistically, you're fine. Statistically, most things go wrong in the landing or the takeoff, you know, within the first couple minutes of flight. But like once you're up at your cruising altitude, most things don't go wrong. Yeah. So in a matter of 4 days, there's been 2 plane crashes, which are wild. Wild. Wild for our country because it just doesn't. Steffi, as a Canadian, wants to know, could you live without our syrup? Also, have you ever tried poutine? Google it. It's a heart attack on a plate. It's against everything godly, but it is delicious. I love maple syrup. I mean, we also produce it here in the States. Vermont is very famous for its maple syrup. But, you know, Canada is the main exporter of maple syrup. It's like their national drink or whatever. Yeah, I think our relationship with Canada. Oh, Selma, don't. I mean, technically, you'd be viewed as an old white lady and you'd be pretty safe. But yeah, we're kind of a dumpster fire right now. Trump is pausing the tariffs for 30 days against Canada as well. Let me just see here. Let's just Google it. Putin says Europe will stand at the feet of the master as Trump's tariffs alarm allies. Okay. 6 things that could get more expensive for Americans under Trump tariffs. Right. We talked about one of them right at the beginning here. Of course, cars. $3,000 more. Beer, Tennessee whiskey, and tequila. Popular Mexican beers, Modelo and Corona, could get more expensive for U.S. customers. But why would Tennessee whiskeys? They state that certain brands, such as bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, tequila, and Canadian whiskey, are recognized as distinctive products and can only be produced in their designated countries. Well, yeah, whiskey can't be whiskey unless it's made here. Yeah, that's not good. Houses. Imports of Canadian lumber are set to be hit by import tariffs. We have more lumber than we ever used. Yeah, we have a lot of trees here that we haven't cut down because we need air. The National Association of Home Builders urging the president to exempt building materials because of their harmful effect on housing affordability. Do you think he cares if houses are affordable? Maple syrup. There it is. Yep. And that means that the good people of Vermont and other places can, you know, fucking jack the shit. Fuel prices. And that means natural gas and what you pay at the pump, guys. What you pay at the pump is gonna go up. It's gonna go up. Yeah, because Canada will stop exporting crude oil. Avocados from Mexico. Where are we gonna get? Where the fuck are we gonna get all of our avocados? Okay, so Mexico is purple, China is blue, Canada is green, and the others, that's us, guys. Right? Key items imported to the U.S. from Mexico, China, and Canada. Delivery trucks. Look at that. Mexico gives us more of those than anything else. Delivery trucks, guys. What company makes those? Are we talking about like the Ford Transits and shit? The Amazon drivers drive? Yeah, those are made in Mexico. Insulated wire. That's home building. Computers. Yeah, a lot from China and some from Mexico. Cars. Yep. Telephones. Yeah, China. Big time. All of our phones basically are made. I mean, my Apple phones are made in China. Or they're made in other countries. broadcasting equipment, refined petroleum, crude petroleum, electric batteries. Uh-huh. Yep. And they include grocery store staples like oranges, a produce that cannot grow in abundance due to its cooler climate. Alcohol originating from the U.S. will also be harder for Canadians to find. Provinces like Ontario, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia say they will pull all American booze off their shelves starting on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Any U.S. alcohol, including beer and wine, that Canadians could find would likely see a price increase. You know, they made a fucking run on the stores. Got all that shit. Kristen, you're fine. No one's going to block you. I'm not blocking you. Avocados give lots of people diarrhea. First of all, if you're gonna come in here with a stupid thing to say, please spell avocado correctly. Okay, thank you. Oh, we got a 30-day hold on the tariffs. Yeah, because Trump considers himself, guys, to be the great negotiator. So he's a big bully. He comes in and says, I'm going to slap these tariffs right on your mama's ass. And then people are like, oh, no, don't slap my mama's ass. And then he's going to, like, you know, negotiate them down so that everybody gets a win-win. I hope Canada tells him to go fuck himself. Mexico, too. I hope he gets out-bluffed. And then I hope the American people understand how fucking tariffs work. Okay, guys, listen. Every day is a new day for more. I know, right? Gross. Alcohol causes cancer. There's a liquor store in it. First of all, sir, ma'am, sir, I live in a big neighborhood and I have no alcohol store on any of the corners here. So please come with facts. Please come with facts. And in Oregon, you have to go to the liquor store. You can't buy liquor in the grocery store, which I find to be stupid. Yeah. And I don't know about alcohol causing cancer. Probably everything causes cancer. Being alive on planet Earth as a human being in a human body, cancer. There you go. Most of the U.S. alcohol is already gone. I believe it. They're gonna have like a mini prohibition party. Someone should have a prohibition party at their house in Canada, serving only American liquor. Because they went and bought up all the Jack Daniels and shit. Like, that would be a lit party. Or I hope some super rich person in Canada, like, literally bought up just a shit ton of American liquor and then just pours it out, like, right on the border. Just. But also, though, I want to say one thing for realsies. For real. And I said this yesterday on Blue Sky, this whole idea that we're going to ban all American liquor. What should be done, and what I would hope somebody like Trudeau would do, is instead of just banning it, like somebody said it was going to be from red states or whatever, but apparently it's all American liquor now. I really think they should relook that over, because a lot of liquor companies, especially like microbreweries, like New Belgium, or really, really good distilleries, like Uncle Nearest, are female, people of color owned. Okay, like talk about hitting back against Trump is if you were to import only the companies that kept DEI or are women owned or people of color owned. Okay, like Big Nose Kate is another female owned whiskey distillery out of Arizona. That would be even better, right? That would be even better. There are many people here, Trudeau, President Trudeau, hi, give us a call, to help guide you in finding the companies that actually respect human rights and things like that, and then you can import those. Probably some you've never heard of, you know? Probably some brands you've never heard of, you know? And then the big brands, for the most part, are all Trumpety Trumpers. I know I just drank a Coca-Cola, guys. Somebody sent me a tweet showing the CEO of Coca-Cola handing President Trump the presidential edition Diet Coke bottle. I will not switch to Pepsi. I'm just going to tell you guys that. I will not switch to Pepsi. For all you Pepsi drinkers, I love you. I will probably finish off the Coke that I've already purchased, and then I will probably literally switch to RC Cola. So, yeah. Because that's disgusting. You'll never run out of alcohol in Scotland? Yeah, Joe. No, I know you won't. Yeah. No, I know. All right, guys, this has been amazing. Thank you guys for watching. We are so close to the next step of monetization. I just wanted to give you guys an update on that since you guys have been here for the whole ride. We still, what we need now is we've reached the 4,000 watch hours. What we need now more than anything else is subscribers. Okay. Subscribers. We are at 765. We need 235 more subscribers. So share this channel with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That would greatly, greatly help me. I appreciate you guys. Oh, listen, Dreamscape. I'm not trying to force American alcohol on anybody. Dr. Pepper. I don't drink carbonated prune juice. That's not my Jim Jam. Fayette. Dr. Pepper and 7-Up are owned by one company. I don't believe they're a Coca-Cola product. Let me see here. What sodas does Coke own? So Coke, you guys ready for all of the Coke subsidiaries? Here you go. Obviously Coke, Diet Coke, Dasani, Fanta, Powerade, Coke Zero, Fairlife, which is they do Dairy Works, Gold Peak Tea, Sprite, Minute Maid, Aquarius, I don't know what that is, Seal, Costa Coffee, Jugos de Valle, Fresca, Simply Juice, Innocent Drinks, Fuse, Adesoy-based beverages, Georgia, Honest Tea, Elojas. Yeah, let's look at their brands because I think there's more than that. Oh, it's animated. 200 brands worldwide. Can we click on that? Where are all the brands? Okay, here we go. Addis, Appletizer, Aquarius, whatever that says in Japanese, Barks, Body Armor, Seal, De Valle, Dogadan, Fresca and Fresca Mist, Fuse, Georgia Coffee, Gold Peak, Elojas, Innocent, Jack Daniels infused with Coca-Cola, Lemon Dew, Minute Maid, Peace Tea, Powerade, Schweppes. Excuse me, if it's not Canada Dry, go fuck yourself. That's the only ginger ale in the world. Simply, oh my God, am I not going to be able to get Canada Dry? I'm going to go buy some right now. Simply Spiked. Oh, I love Simply Juice. Well, I guess I'm not getting that. Smart Water, Sprite, Topo Chico. They fucking bought Topo Chico? Son of a bitch. Vitamin Water and Topo Chico Hard Seltzer. Well, son of a bitch. I don't see Dr. Pepper on here. I don't see Dr. Pepper on here. Who owns Dr. Pepper? It's like it's listening. Google. Keurig. Keurig owns Dr. Pepper. Girl, when I lived in Sonoma, we had Shasta Cola. We had Shasta everything. I don't want that nasty shit. Sayo? Okay. Oh, yeah, I know. RC Cola, Royal Crown. That's the bomb diggity dong dong. Dr. Pepper's owned by Snapple. Okay. I think Keurig is the Dr. Pepper Snapple group. So they're one thing here. but they're a subsidiary of Keurig. But Cadbury Schweppes purchased Dr. Pepper in 19... Oh, they must have sold it. There we go. So it was spun off because Schweppes used to own them. Who owns RC Cola? Son of a bitch. Oh, okay, but this is different. So Cadbury Schweppes is not owned by Coke, though, right? Jesus. This is a whole rabbit hole of how I can get cola. Mondelez and Kraft Foods in the UK. All right, there we go. Well, let's see Pepsi and Trump. Let's see what Pepsi's done with Trump. Oh. PepsiCo CEO is hopeful for new energy under Trump 2.0. Mm-hmm. When is this from? That's 2016. That's during his first administration. Can Donald Trump inauguration gift reignite Coca-Cola versus Pepsi war? Right? Because this is the article here. Okay. Here's the CEO of Coca-Cola, and that is the official presidential version of Diet Coke. Mm-hmm. There we go. Mm-hmm. Reinforces our commitment to strengthening American economic future. Yeah, Coca-Cola was not supportive of J6. Yet there's the CEO. Here's your favorite drink, sir. The Coca-Cola company is not happy with me. That's okay. I'll still keep drinking that garbage. He literally doesn't give a fuck. He literally doesn't give a fuck. I'm going to switch to RC Cola, y'all. That's what I'm doing. All right. Well, now that we've got the cola sorted out, y'all, I just want to say, I think Pepsi, it's like partnered with Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper's owned by a different company. Oh, my God. Things are getting wild, y'all. Things are getting wild. All right, I got another show coming up here in an hour and a half on my other channel, What's Up with Nora. I'm going to go eat some more food real quick, see my family, give them hugs and kisses. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on this crazy ride. Yeah. Pretty much every brand is owned by like 5 companies, one of them being Disney. It's awful. Yeah. But you just got to do what you got to do, guys. And we got to survive this, and we got to know what's going on. And what's going on right now is wild. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like the stream. All right. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No, America. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and giving you a little sparkle of America. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com.